Hey guys, Ben here and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about Gustin because he's recently talked about returning as the Flash potentially in Superman Lois. So if you do go on to enjoy the video, please be sure to leave a like and a comment and subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any future DCTV videos later this year. Okay, we have a bunch of other topics to go over to do with Grant, to do with the Flash and to do with the Arrowverse throughout this video, but first things first, let's break down what was recently said by Gustin at a Comic-Con convention. So shout out to Paigey for actually making me aware of this. You can check out his video, he posted it just yesterday, but I thought it was very important that we actually talk about it as well on our channel. So basically, he got asked about returning as Barry or the Flash in Superman Lois's fourth and final season. Obviously this has been something that we've been theorizing about and thinking about for a while. Obviously since the Flash ended with its final season earlier this year, we've been waiting for a potential answer of him maybe coming back or will he not come back. And I think Gustin gives a pretty decent answer, and the answer that we probably expect, because actually when the Flash ended there was a couple of interviews with him actually saying that he's open to coming back, but it depends on the screenplay, it depends on the story, it depends if the time is right, if he is free, and he pretty much answers the same here. So at a recent Comic-Con convention somewhere in America, he answered, "It depends if I have time or not and what they would do with me, but yeah, I'd be open to it." So that is Grant's reply after recently being asked if he would return as the Flash in the Arrowverse. And so, like I said, this is the answer that I kind of expected just based on his past interviews. We know he's pretty open to it. He's probably more open to it than Melissa Benoist, so it's actually more likely you would see Gustin. However, Grant is very busy right now because he is starring in a Broadway show that's going to start next year, and obviously, as you guys know, with the past with Melissa, there's a very busy schedule for Broadway actors. They pretty much work, I think, 6 days a week and they do 2 shows a day. I think that's the Broadway schedule. I could be wrong about that, but they are so busy and they tend to do it for over 6 months straight in a row. So that means he's going to be like jam-packed doing these shows. So there is actually no downtime. There is no free period, no free weekend where he can just fly up to Vancouver from New York and be like, yeah, I'm here, let's do some filming. It would actually have to be either before he starts or afterwards. Now I'm going to give you some information about when his Broadway show starts, and so it's opening on the 24th of February 2024. So right now we are in the back half of December 2023, so that means it's literally about 2 months away from the start of Water for Elephants. That is the title of the show that Gustin is one of the main stars in. So Broadway performances are starting then. Obviously you would have preview shows for like the week before, maybe a couple weeks before that you would have like a press show. I don't know how it exactly works in New York, but yeah, this show is going to be pretty busy, and there's been the first photos that have been released. We're going to talk about them in just a minute, plus also there's some videos of Gustin actually performing, which I want to give you guys access to because I think it's a really exciting project, and Grant's never done Broadway before, so this is the first time for that. So if you're in New York, I highly recommend you go watch it because I would love to go, but it's obviously quite far away. And so with the February date, we know that Superman Lois is coming back to start filming for season 4, which is also the final season, on January 11th. That is the tentative start date for season 4 filming. So with that in mind, they're doing all the pre-production right now for Superman Lois to get started, and that means probably planning any cameos or any crossovers that they want to do. Like I said before, I don't think Todd Helbing, the showrunner of the show, is going to be so inclined to try and make all these crossovers happen. And if it's too hard with Grant, say, you know, being super busy from February 24th onwards, doing shows every day, twice a day, like he's at least going to be doing it for about 6 months. That's probably what I would guess. So you can probably rule out the next 6 months after, you know, February 2024. So if you calculate that, obviously you got February, then you got March, that's 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months. So probably August 2024 is when he could next be free. So they would have to film something either in the meantime on his like 1 day off, but obviously why would you want to give that up, or he has to do it literally before the show starts. So that is the only time that I see it actually being feasible for Grant to show up. So they would have to be contacting him now. Obviously he's not going to reveal that if they have contacted him or not, but with Superman Lois starting filming on January 11th, you would need to get Grant Gustin up to Vancouver between January 11th and February 24th, because that's when his show starts. He's going to be busy for the next 6 months or so. It depends how long he actually stays himself. I think that's his choice. I'm not entirely sure how it works. But Superman Lois is going to finish filming in April 2024. So August is way beyond the ending. So I think the main factor here is going to be time. If they can fit him in, if he can come up to Vancouver between January and February, then it will work. And obviously he says it depends what they would do with me. So like what Grant would be there to do, like why is the Flash here, why is he showing up, does it make sense, is it going to be a different version of the character, or is it going to be the same Arrowverse version of the Flash that we've always known? He's open to it, but it's really just depending on circumstance. I think they would, find a good way to slot him in if they had the time, but I don't think Todd Helbing is going to be that desperate that he's going to get Grant in between January and February. So I'm sad to say, but I think it's very highly likely we're not going to see Grant Gustin in the final season of The Flash. Okay, we got a couple of photos here from Grant Gustin's Broadway play, that being Water for Elephants that we've been talking about. You can see him fully dressed up in costume here. Thought these were some nice photos that I would just, share with you guys, because this is his next project post The Flash. We've talked about Melissa recently and the TV show she was working on, and that's coming out in 2024. So this is Grant's next thing. So like I said, if you're in New York, definitely go try and catch it whilst he's there. But like I said, actors don't stay in the same shows forever. They look for other projects probably after like 6 months or so. But yeah, let's move on to the final topic of today's video. So there's been new data that's been revealed by Netflix in terms of the Arrowverse shows, and it turns out we've got big numbers for the Arrowverse. So according to Screen Rant, which I'm reading the article off of, The Flash and its 9 seasons, which are available on Netflix, I believe this is all US-based data. I don't believe this is international-based data. But The Flash's 9 seasons has got a whopping 311 million viewing hours. That is insane. That is huge. That is almost double what Arrow has, and Arrow is the second. And I think that just shows the popularity of The Flash. Like, people will come back and watch The Flash. Like, it's not something that just happened and people watched it week to week. No, people come back. They go to Netflix. They watch it if it's available in their country. Obviously, it's not available everywhere. But Arrow, in its 8 seasons, right now, the viewing data from Netflix says it has got 159 million watch hours. That is still massive and a big improvement over the third place, which is actually Supergirl with its 6 seasons, has got 60.6 million viewing hours. Obviously, I don't know when this data started. Is this since they first came on? Is this just this year? I don't really know the ins and outs, but they are the numbers. And obviously Supergirl is probably expected to have less of an audience than Arrow and The Flash, because they were just more popular back when they were actually on air. So I'm not surprised to see it in this order. Of course, I'm expecting The Flash to do big numbers, but to be honest, I wasn't expecting it to be that high. Like, I think that is really good. And if that says anything about the popularity of The Flash as a character and why they need to, in the DCEU, really get on with making a new Flash, that shows you why. And then 4th place is Legends of Tomorrow with its 7 seasons. It's 37.1 million viewing hours. That's what it's on. And then coming up shortly behind it is Black Lightning with 34.6 million views. And then the Arrowverse franchise total has over 603 million views in terms of viewing hours. So that is a big number and just proves that the Arrowverse is still popular despite it coming to an end this year with Superman Lois. Obviously, Superman Lois has no numbers here because it's not finished, and also I don't know if it's available on Netflix because it's currently available on HBO Max. But that pretty much does it for this video, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please be sure to leave a like and a comment. It would really help the channel out. Also, subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any future videos. But for now, you can click on the top right corner of the screen to watch my latest video, and I'll catch you guys later. Goodbye.
I see red.